Welcome to the AGA Podcast, the voices behind today's grocery industry.
This is Paul DeMarco back with the Alabama Grocers Association Podcast. Today I'm with Jay Mitchell Grocery. Welcome.
Hi, how you doing today, Paul?
Good. Thank you so much for being with us today. Look, you've been involved with the Alabama Grocers Association for a long time. Before I get to that, how's everything with Mitchell Grocery?
It's doing very well. We're having a good year.
So let's talk about, first of all, what's the footprint?
So we cover stores in Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and Tennessee, basically from the Kentucky line to the Florida line. Service about 200 independent supermarkets.
What are you seeing in trends in the grocery business, both from the wholesale and from the retail side?
Well, I think what we're seeing right now is a very challenged consumer, and all the unrest, the fuel prices, the war that's going on. I think consumers are holding on to their dollars and they're looking for value and they're looking for a place to shop that they trust. So I think that is a strength for independent grocers, but I think we have to play the game pretty well right now.
So what is the best way in a challenging environment to get those customers to come back in the stores and then stay and be repeat customers?
Right. Well, we've always said in Foodland that we know what it is to feed a family. So we try to give them the best value that we can to take care of their families and give them nutritious meals. And of course, we've always led with our meat department and those proteins being cut fresh in store every day. And so that's a trust factor too that keep bringing people back. But we're looking for every way we can to bring value in price and in promotion to our customers to help them stretch their budgets.
So, and you've been doing it for a long time. So what is kind of the history of the company?
So yeah, our company started in 1945. My grandfather and his first cousin bought a local company called Albertville Produce out of bankruptcy at the end of World War II. So he worked in it until the late 70s. My dad, Jack, came back into the business in 1958 and worked 60 years and kind of built it from a regional jobber into a southeastern wholesaler servicing supermarkets. And then my brother David is the president of our company, and I'm the vice president of retail operations. So we're the third generation and have the fourth generation working in the business. So,
what do you think about the uniqueness of being in the grocery, the food industry in the Southeast as opposed to other parts of the country?
Well, I think we still have a lot more of that hometown feel and definitely if you look at trends across the country, that center of the plate meat item is a lot bigger deal in the Southeast than it is if you go in the Northeast or other places. So that's still, we all still go visit our local butcher, and that's a big driver of what we do. And, like I said, I think just that sense of community and hometown and shopping with your neighbors and people I think still resonates more in the Southeast. It is a strength of our customers.
Do you see any changes in the grocery industry in the next 5 to 10 years, particularly, like I said, in the Southeast and Alabama, kind of the surrounding, our neighboring states?
Well, I think our industry is constantly in change, and we've seen continued evolution of competitors, and I think you see a lot more of the online disruption, delivery and pickup and those kind of things becoming a bigger part. But we still come back to hometown service and be fast, fresh, and friendly. So.
And before I let you go, we got to talk about the Alabama Grocers. You've led the organization in the past. You continue to stay on board as an officer. So what is the Alabama Grocers Association meant for you, and how can other members really take advantage of what the Alabama Grocers Association provides?
Well, it's been a great resource for me. I've been a part of this organization for over 25 years. And, it's that camaraderie with other people in the industry, be it other retailers, other wholesalers, or manufacturers, that sharing of information. We're fighting the same problems and we're looking for solutions together. I've always kind of called that co-opetition with our other retailers. There's a lot of things that we compete on, but there's a lot of things that we're trying to find solutions to the same problems, and having that resource sharing and information sharing is huge for us. And then obviously on the regulatory side, there's always government encroachment, and there are, regulations and there are laws that are not favorable to our business. The SNAP restrictions that are coming down the pike being a prime example of those. And So Alabama Grocers is respected, and they have great relationships in Montgomery and in Washington, and helping us to get ahead of those issues and explain to our lawmakers, how that affects Main Street America is huge for us.
Well, good. Well, you've been an integral part of leading the organization, staying involved with the organization, as well as everything you do in the grocery and food industry in Alabama. So thank you very much for being with us today, Jay.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much again. Thank you again. This has been Jay Mitchell and Paul DeMarco with the Alabama Grocers Association Podcast.